Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Season 7 audio commentary for Retrospectives Be Damned. Here we're starting off with episode 26. This was the making of episode. Without question, the longest episode of the show at 31 minutes. This is even longer than the last episode, which was fairly long. It was shot during COVID, which is why you can see here my son. He is so cute here. He wanted to jump in at the beginning, and he would not leave. Like, I would do a take, and I would mess up, and then he would go, and he would come back, and I just said, you know what, I'm keeping it. You're so adorable. And it's crazy seeing him there because he looks so, like, he looks a little bit the same, but he's so different. And oh god, he's so cute. Sorry, I'm having a little dad moment there. Always knew that episode 26 would be a making of episode. After doing the whole epic first 25 episodes, I wanted to show what a day in the life of making the show was. I just thought it'd be interesting to present to you, hey, look, this is how the show is made, and this is what I do. One of my favorite episodes to film. It was very different than how it usually goes, because as you know, how it usually goes is, like I mentioned in previous commentaries, there's 1 month to writing, 1 month to filming, 1 month to editing. So, here, the season 7 kind of marks a departure from the usual schedule of making episodes. I told myself, look, just take your time. Like, you don't go on a schedule anymore. Edit and write however long it takes to write. Edit however long it takes to edit. Just do whatever it is you want to do. And so, actually, this season is spread across 2 years. This episode and the next one was 1 year, and the last 2 episodes was the following year, because of this new schedule that we decided to do. Also, it was really weird because I would be documenting everything. So really, filming started at the very beginning of this episode, because you're seeing every single process. So you see me come up with the story, you see me write the story, you see me film it, and we go all the way to the very end. So definitely one of my favorites. I think this was a really cool episode of the show. So here we have episode 27. While I had a lot of fun making this episode, it was an anniversary episode of Connect and PlayStation Move, and it was the time to talk about it. But this episode was the one that made me realize I wanted to end the show. I knew that I didn't have enough gas to go for 25 more episodes. I didn't think that was something I had in me. And so I said, I need to start figuring things out. And I wouldn't really start figuring things out until the next episode. But for now, this was the one that, as I was making it, I'm like, God, this is like a daily grind. I'm not really enjoying this or anything like that. So this episode does use a lot of old footage from the past. I had a lot of footage of Rebecca and I playing PlayStation Move games and things of that nature. So I did recycle those because just, made it easier to do, made it... and again, I was kind of like not really feeling this episode a whole lot. But also some of the old footage, it's really cool because it's I'm talking about, like, hey, I picked up Kinect at launch or what have you, and here's footage of it. And I actually had footage of me picking it up at launch. So that was really fun to do. Um, Also, the Kinect footage I did have to film because I didn't have enough Kinect footage. Um, and it was the first time I was actually able to play Kinect the right way. Because Kinect, you really need a lot of space for it, and I did not have space to do Kinect. Just did not. Um, and so when the time came for me to capture this footage, I said, "Oh well, fuck yeah, I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be really fun to do." And it was. It was like, wow, I finally did it. I didn't realize I needed to mark this off my bucket list. Finally play Connect the right way. But we have so much more room in the living room to play it, and that's really what it is. It's like a living room device, a big living room, spacious. Also, my son was really interested in the Kinect. He was so like, whoa, you could do that, and found it really fun to record. So he was actually, you don't see it. I think there's like one image of him. I think he's like in his diapers or something with a shirt, because this was during the diaper years, and that was really his appearance. That he didn't really make any other appearances in it, but behind the scenes, he really was playing a lot. So that was a lot of fun to do with him. So here we have episode 28. Still part of the season, but it actually came out the year after the first two episodes. This is the first true green screen effect on the show, and I'm really proud of the way it looks. It looks so cool. I play these two characters. The store owner, employee, and then this guy, me. This recreation was very accurate of how it was when I shopped at my local mall. I used to shop and go to this store called Planet X, which is a subsidiary, a sub company of GameStop. It's basically a GameStop. They just called it Planet X for whatever reason that I don't know yet. And that's exactly how it was. They would push the crap out of strategy guides and pre-orders and whatnot. And it wasn't until I actually ended up working at that Planet X when I started realizing, oh, good God, that's how it is. So this topic, strategy guides, this is something that I had been wanting to talk about for a long time. When it came time, when I knew the show was going to end, episode 28 was the first one where I'm like, okay, let's get, let me look at all the topics I've written down of things I'm interested in, and then let me narrow down, like 5 episodes I want to do, or 4 or 3 or whatever amount it was. And so I got those topics and I said, okay, cool. Let's cut away with, unless there's a joke I really want to do, like the green screen one at the beginning, I said, let me just talk about the subject matter, because this is stuff I really want to talk about. What's really funny is, so I had moved out of my parents' house, and I had taken all that I could. The thing was, our garage, so like everything in my bedroom and everything I could see in our garage, which was really like a storage kind of area, I took when I did my initial move. I think it was 2 years later, my parents were going to move as well, because they just thought the house was too big they were living in. They had a lot of space. So they were going to move, and they were beginning to go through the stuff in the garage, throw away things, that they weren't going to have. I distinctively remember I told my mom and dad, please, if you find anything that's mine, don't throw it away. Let me know about it. Like, just put it inside the house. I will go there and I will pick it up. Like, seriously, the next day I will go. Because, I don't know, I had a lot of time at the time to do this. This is before my son was born. This was like 2015. So I remember going to my parents' house one day and I saw a stack of strategy guides that were just outside. It was raining. They were like in a corner, getting drenched in rain. And I saved them. I grabbed them and I brought them inside and I kind of put them to the side to let them clean out or whatever. And I was so pissed at my dad because I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like you said, he was like, oh, I was totally gonna give it to you. I'm like, it was next to the goddamn garbage. So that did piss me off because I did want those guides. But what's really cool is the guides you see in this episode are those guides. So I did get to cover them. I did get to like bring them in here for this episode. So I was so happy about that I was able to actually do that and save them. So here we are in the last episode of the season, episode 29. As you can see, I brought back classic RBD guy. I started wearing a wig for the show just because I really wanted to go back as classic as I could. And plus, I realized at this point my hair was never growing back. Like, it just, sometimes when you go through chemo, it'll come back and then it just goes away and it never comes back. So I am technically balding, which is why I wear a hat in the last episode, because I am a hat person now. But here, I wasn't a hat person yet, and I wore a wig because I wanted it to be classic RBD guy, even if he's only, very little in this. This episode is another personal favorite of mine, and just personal in general. DVD and Blu-rays are still important to me, despite being a dying trend, and were so important to me back then. And being able to talk about that and even do a whole episode was so cool. Also, this was the first episode that we shot in Final Cut Pro. I had gotten so we had done all the episodes. Episode 2 all the way to 28 was iMovie. The first episode was Final Cut Express. Starting here all the way to the end of the show was Final Cut Pro. I'd gotten a new computer and I added that in, and so I was really getting used to it. This was like the first thing I edited, so I really had no idea what I was doing. But I am so happy that I was able to get that. And now I look back at iMovie and I'm like, oh my god, how was I doing that? Very little live action footage here. Starting with this episode, I really wanted to focus on the topic more so than the skits. I know I said last episode that, but I did have a sketch at the beginning, a little skit of a recreation and stuff. Here, I'm like, to hell with those. I only have a few episodes. Save all the skits you want to do for the last episode, because that's going to be pure, sketch, essentially. So, yeah, there is very little live action, and I was able to focus the most time in the topics, which I thought was really cool. One of my favorite episodes, like I said, because of its personal nature, DVDs especially, I love looking back on so fondly as a filmmaker. These commentaries I do, these bonus features that I post on the YouTube channel are fully born from what I would do, what I would watch on DVDs and to a certain extent Blu-rays back in the day. So it still connects with me, and it still persuades me on certain choices to this day, because of how it influenced me as a kid. And I love that. I think it's just wonderful to do, and I will keep doing it as long as I can. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching and listening. This was the audio commentary for season 7. We have some more commentaries and bonus features coming up, so please be on the lookout for those. Thank you guys for listening and watching. Take care.